I've been shuffling this whole time. I'm sure y'all heard it. And no jumpers came out, so I guess that part was clear. Now, we are going to do the dream spread, which is a 5-carder. I feel like, well, we'll see if we go further than this. I'm trying not to make this a 2-hour video like my last one. It was good though. My last one on my YouTube page was about how burnout was not your calling. Y'all might want to check that one out. But the dream interpretation is a 5-carder. So the first card is going to be about the dreamer. Am I still reading on the... Oh, I missed you. Am I still reading on... Am I still doing a dream? Am I still... Yeah. Okay. All right. So like I said, I do reversals, so I shuffle weird. Um, I like to get all up in the mix. Okay, so the first card we are looking for is the dreamer. What is your role in the dream? What part do you play? All right. Why am I doing this? Because we're talking about the American dream here. So what is the role? What is your role in the dream? What is the role of the dreamer? Is anybody gonna jump? What's the answer to this? Let's pull a card. Where are you? Oh, there you are. All right. So the card we got is the Fool. And that's not a bad card, y'all. That's about starting new things and stuff like that, right? And we'll get into breaking them down in just a second. But the first card we got here, which goes in the center, is the Dreamer. So the second card we're going to get is, what is the main message conveyed by this dream? Um, so, how do we do that instead? So our question is, where do we go from here? So the theme, how does that apply? Because in the book it says, what is the main message conveyed by this dream? I don't feel like that applies. Um, how does, how do we make this about the theme? Okay. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? All right, so do that. What's the message? What's the message? What's the message we need to, what's the message? Hmm. What's the message? What's the message? I don't think that's it. Hold on. I'm trying to see. How can I make that apply? Theme. What is the main message conveyed by the dream? I know what the message of the American dream is, so it's got to be something else. How can it apply? How can it apply? What the heck? I missed things. Oh, okay. We're gonna take that. Okay. Like, 2 cards fell into my hands, and one is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, and the other one is the World again. We're going to take those, and we'll look at those together under the theme. Okay. Okay. I don't know how that applies, but I'm going to take that. All right. So the third card here for the dream is supposed to be connected event. So what in your waking life is this dream speaking to? What part of your waking life caused this dream? Yes. Okay. Now, I got the jumpers for the theme card when I started thinking about all the dreams that the other 4 a.m. clubbers and dreamers are dreaming of. And so that makes sense because the dreams that we are dreaming of is this stuff coming to an end. Um, and what it's going to take for that to happen. So, what in your, okay, what in your waking life? Uh, God, doesn't make sense. All right. That card is the Nine of Pentacles reversed. We'll talk about why this stuff makes sense. Okay. Fourth card here is, what is repressed? So what feelings or thoughts have you not consciously integrated and are now appearing in our dreams? How do we apply that? What is repressed? Let's put it this way. Because we're trying to do this dream. And I'm talking about the 4 a.m.ers. So that card jumped out for that too. Again, back to the 4 a.m.ers. Every time I mention them, here comes the card. All right. So All right. What is being repressed? That makes sense. Okay, what's the lesson? What do we need to learn? That card is the Queen of Cups reversed. What do we need to learn? What do we need to learn from this dream in our waking life? What should you do? And that is the question. What's the lesson? What are we supposed to be doing? Where do we go from here? That is what we're supposed to be answering. So, let's think about that in context of what we're doing. Let me do this. Hold on. Get some stuff going on here. Wait, did a card fall out and I missed it? It did. A card fell out and I missed it. That's the answer. Nine of Wands. All right, let's talk about it. How about that, y'all? Card fell out. Now, for any clarifiers, I'm not going to use this deck anymore. I am introducing a new deck to my life. Y'all have heard of this deck before. Um, I'm going to use the Lightseers Tarot. So we're going to put these guys down. And we're going to switch over to the Lightseers Tarot. She's new to my life and she's beautiful, but we're going to use her for clarifiers as we need them. Okay, so look at the Lightseers Tarot. Like these cards are amazing. They're so colorful, they're so bright, they're so beautiful. And I really wanted cards that I can look at the pictures and be like, oh, yeah. Okay, so again, this was a dream interpretation spread, and I was just going to say I hope I chose the right spread to do for this, but I got goosebumps just now again, so yes, I did. All right, so I'm gonna put these down for now, and I'm gonna talk to you about what we got. So in the first card, it says the dreamer. So what is your role in this dream? What part do you play? And that is going to be the Fool. So the Fool card has a timing, by the way, and this is important because that stood out, so it meant pay attention. It's like watching a movie, and having that zoom moment, that close up moment. And so what I just close upped on this card was when you least expect it, when you least expect it. And I don't necessarily feel like that was talking to what our role is in the dream. I feel like that's talking to the answer of whatever one of y'all just asked. And y'all know what question you just asked. It's the question we're all asking. And it's when you least expect it. That's the answer. All right. So the Fool card, the question on this card is, what risks are you willing to take? So if I'm looking at it as this is our role in the dream, the American dream, this is the part that we're supposed to play. So these are the risks that we have to play. Um, these are the risks. Are we willing to take them? Are we willing to take the risk? Because if we do, and if we can, and if we will, then this is going to be a card of new beginnings, a card of spontaneity, of freedom, keyword, of optimism. That's another keyword. Why? Because y'all, it's been hard to be optimistic. But this is saying that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Must take the leap in the unknown. And I would say all of this is unknown right now. Not in the respect of what happens when you have a fascist or a dictator or authoritarianism. There's literally playbooks on that. But when it comes to us, like the American dream itself is new. Like just the concept of America is different than what a lot of other people have. I'm not saying it's better. I'm not saying it's worse. What I am saying is there's no other government that does government the way this government was supposed to be done. However, as people say, the system isn't broken, it's working exactly how it's supposed to. And that's because of the shadows, the devils that we have above what this could be. So the Fool card, this would be us, the dreamer. If we answer it in the context of where do we go next? This is a path we don't know. We don't know. Like every time I think of that kind of thing of like not knowing the path, I think of Michael Jackson. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Beat It, But in that video, not Beat It, Billie Jean, every time he takes a step, it lights up. But the step lights up where he takes it, not before sometimes. And that's like literally where we are right now. Is like we're taking steps and we don't know if it's the mind or if it's safe. It's like playing Minesweeper, right? Um, but we got to keep taking the steps. We can't lay down. We can't give up. We can't throw our hands up. That's what we did in November. You know, the majority of us did that in November. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, my voice doesn't matter. Oh, it's rigged anyway. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. They just gave up. They just laid down. And hopefully now people have woken up um, to realizing that, yes, it actually does matter. Your voice does matter. Your your energy does matter. Um, and so I need you to be like the fool, or at least we're being asked to be like the fool, and to take the step, even without knowing what's next, is to commit to action. And action is different for everybody. Action for some people are protests. Action for other people are writing think pieces. Action for other people are is like creating content. Other people it is taking care of the people who are hurt by this stuff. Like you need to do what you are called to do and not ignore the calling. Take the step, the next step, the next step, the next step, the next step, because it's you're gonna get there. Unless you stop going. So and the other thing too here, when I look at this card, there is a benefit to being foolish, and that benefit is not caring, not being bogged down by the heaviness of the world, not um being worried about what is going to come next. It is literally about getting packed. Well, let me put it this way. Like he has a bag thrown over his shoulder, but it's a bag of gifts. It's a bag of talents. It's a bag of abilities. It's a bag of things that belong to this person. And when he's walking with like this laissez-faire attitude. Like his head is thrown back and the sun is shining and the sky is golden and there's blue waters next to him, and water is his beautiful spirituality, and he has his white dog yipping at his ankles. Um and yes, it seems like he's going to walk off into a cliff, but so what? He's not walking to his death. That's the good thing about it. And we can't be afraid of those next steps. We can't be afraid to take the next step. And that's not because like in reverse, that would be recklessness, foolishness, carelessness, naivety. But that's not what we got. We got it straight up. So that's new beginnings. It's spontaneity, freedom, optimism. And so, oh yeah. So what we need to be doing is we need to flip the script of our emotions. I know at one point I was so anxious that I have no nails. Like you may have noticed them. I have absolutely no nails because I'm a nail biter. That's my stimming from my ADHD. And I was just so anxious. And then all of a sudden I wasn't. And I started doing things like, making the podcast about I Got Tea and other things. So I just started doing what I could with the gifts that I already had. And that's what we need to be doing at this moment. That's really good answer of where do we go to next? We bundle up our gifts and we take the next step. We show up. We flip the script of our emotions. So if you're feeling this anxiety, if you're feeling doomy, if you're doom scrolling, it like whatever it is that you're doing that is a weight as opposed to being a gift, you need to flip the script of that. You need to change that, transmute it, put some air in it. Okay, stop lugging around a flat tire. Um, and so then we move on to this other one, which is the theme. And the theme is, what is the main message conveyed by this dream? Now, the way that I looked at it really was, again, like, where do we go to next? And so I looked at it as, how do we get here? Like, what caused us to be here? And so in one way, we got these two cards flipped. They both came out, and one is the Knight of Pentacles. Now, if the Knight of Pentacles was upright, it'd be a beautiful card, right? The Knight of Pentacles is supposed to be about reliability, practicality, discipline, hard work, perseverance. And the question of it is, what practical steps can I take to reach success? And the statement here is, slow and steady wins the race, which would have made sense to the fool of a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. That makes sense, except, hold on, this is standing out too. The rest of this, wait, hold on. The rest of the statement was, slow and steady wins the race. Try not to rush the process. But we got this in reverse. And the pentacles in reverse have different words. It has laziness, procrastination, lack of progress, lack of ambition, stagnation. That sure as hell got us here. That got us here. And I would also say that it was a lack of community, right? And I think after the pandemic, especially, people wanted community so bad that they gravitated to the wrong kinds. You know, nobody wanted to be isolated, but they gravitated towards the wrong kind. Um, because, like, the Knight of Pentacles, sorry, y'all. The Knight of Pentacles, if it was upright, the Knight has, like, the value, the money in his hands. But again, in reverse, we don't even realize what value we have. Like, this value is literally in his hands. The pentacle, the coin, the money, but I'm not using it in that way. It's value. It's the worth. Like, people literally, out of procrastination, out of stagnation, out of lack of ambition, did not even show up to vote because they didn't value their own voice. So how did we get here? We got here by not valuing each other or ourselves. We did not value what was already in our hands in the first place. And then the other card we got, oh my gosh, I can't remember if this was reversed or not, but I think it was. Y'all have to tell me. I'm not sure. I think it was reversed. I don't know. Did I turn it up? No, I didn't turn it upside down. Okay. Yeah. So we got the world card again, which was, again, incomplete, right? Which makes sense. So again, the lack of progress, the stagnation, the procrastination, the lack of closure, unfulfilled desires, disconnection. And I think that's the biggest part, because now I'm like really looking at just the name of the card, right? The name of the card is the world. America was as disconnected from the world as America could be. It wasn't until we had a threat of this app going away that we went and joined Red Note. You know, like, oh my God, the Chinese don't live so bad, blah, 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 blah. Like, we finally started reconnecting with the world, reconnecting with other people. And honestly, I think that's what makes the TikTok app so great and different than other apps, is that at least the connection can happen, and you're able to go there however you show up. Like right now, the one of the biggest trends of content creation is for people to literally come up out of bed, especially Black girls. And if y'all know how serious of a thing it is that Black girls are showing up with their hair not done and their face not washed, telling you in a very sleepy voice, just post the content, and it's getting thousands of views. Like that's TikTok in a nutshell. Like seriously. Um, but that said, it's a big reason why we're where we are. We are disconnected from the world. Half of us didn't know where Gaza was. Half of us didn't even know where Sudan was. Half of us didn't know where El Salvador was. And I'm being very generous by saying half. Most people didn't know their geography. Most people didn't know their civics. Most people didn't know anything about American government. So we were just so disconnected, and that was a problem because it's how we got here. And honestly, like that's how I'm taking this second part, this theme, which is what's the main message is that this is how we got here, bro. Like this is how we got here is just being disconnected and being lazy. And I don't mean lazy and working because we're one of the hardest working countries, regardless of what people might think about us. They might think we're lazy and they might just think we're fat, but a lot of us got here because we work so damn much we can't even eat or afford to eat well. Um, and again, that's the dream that's unfulfilled as well, right? Y'all let me know if this is making sense. Uh, okay, so the third one is a connected event. So what's connected to what it is that got us here? What's connected also to um, what we're asking? And so what we're asking here is where do we go from here, right? So now we know how we got here, but it's like really where are we going from here? But first, we got to get to what's connected to this. And it says, what in your waking life is this dream speaking to? What part of your waking life caused this dream? What part of your waking life caused us here? Um, and that's why I laughed when I saw this, because the card that came out was the Nine of Pentacles reversed. And the words for the Nine of Pentacles reversed is dependency, overspending, financial difficulty, material loss, and loneliness. That like wrapped it up with a bow. Because again, like I said, we were so disconnected from each other, especially, um, all the pandemic stuff and stuff. We were so disconnected from each other in other aspects of our lives. Like, can you name your neighbors? Like, do you know their names? Can you knock on their door and literally ask them for a cup of sugar? We were just so disconnected. But also, we were trying to fill that void with overspending on vacations, even though we have this bill due or we have, something coming up. America's known for its overspending. We just are. But there's also this dependency, and I like that that word showed up there because we always depend on somebody else to solve the problem. And I'm saying this in very general context, right? Hold on. I'm saying this in very general context, but saying this in very general context, but what I mean by the fact that we're dependent is, and it's still happening. Like it's literally still happening right now. People, if somebody does a good speech, a good speech or a good takedown of somebody saying something stupid, which is not hard to find, people will say in their comments, "You should run for president." What? They just had a good speech. Why does a good speech make you able to run for president? We're so busy looking for a king. Like we say that we're a country that doesn't have a king, but we're looking for a king without a crown. We want somebody else to emerge as the leader. We're depending on somebody else to stand up and to fight for us when it's literally part of our gifting. America is by DNA fighters, just by DNA. Um, but we've gotten so complacent in and not only that, but we got so trapped on this hamster wheel, which I think was part of the system of working so hard that you never have time to pay attention to what it is you actually wanted. Um, and so in this card, you have this person who is like looking at this bird and they have all these pentacles underneath them, which would be great if this was in the upright. Because in the upright, that meant that you were abundant. In the upright, that meant you had luxury. You had, what is it? Self-sufficiency, independence. But again, we're in the reverse. And so now in the reverse, it doesn't look like you have an overflowing garden of all these coins and stuff. It looks like we just bought that damn bird for all these coins. Because that's what we do. We will buy something to fill the void, right? And it's just terrible. Um and oh gosh. I can go on and on about this card because I see a lot to it. Like if we would just turn around, that's literally what we need to do. If we would just turn around and look at the lay of the land, we would see how much we have, how much we have that has been a gift just by just given to us by nature, by God, by whatever you want to call it. But we would know what we have, except we're looking at this pretty thing we just spent all this money on. Like, oh, look at this, until our attention moves and we're on something else. So that is definitely connected to our lives. And I'm not saying specifically one particular person. This is a collective message. So this is about like what we collectively, especially as Americans, have been on, like what we've been doing. So the fourth card here is what is repressed? What is repressed? What feelings or thoughts have you not consciously integrated and are now appearing in your dream? Um, and so in this card, we have the Queen of Cups reversed. And so, what I do know from listening to a bunch of readers is that cups are supposed to be emotions and stuff, which makes sense because the keywords here are emotional instability, mood swings, hypersensitivity. Oh my God, if that isn't us, bro. Um, because we are hypersensitive. Uh, if somebody says something, oh, why are you being so woke? If somebody says something, oh, cancel time. You know, it's like we're so trigger happy to not deal with real life that we'll buy a pretty bird and go look at the pretty bird. So the question here on this card though is, will emotions be balanced and stable in a situation? Be in your heart space before taking any decision, but don't be over emotional. In a real world, that's where we're supposed to be. But we are repressed. And what are we repressing? Our feelings. What are we repressing? Our ability to be connected as human beings, to be seen as flawed, to just be human and to be truthful and to be imperfect. That's what we're repressing. And it's leading to this emotional instability, and these mood swings and this hypersensitivity to where we're either canceling everybody or we're complaining about them being too woke or like is oh my God, it's so crazy. Like we just won't allow ourselves to be human, to feel. We say stuff like flights over feelings, or we say stuff like your feelings don't matter. Well, let me tell you something. I hope ain't nobody on here a child, but bullshit. Y'all, the science is clear. The heart matters as much as the brain. And I'm not talking tarot science. I'm talking real science. Because, and this was discovered in the 90s. I was doing my research about this because it was discovered in the 90s that the heart contains neurotransmitters. The heart contains brain matter, so to speak, right? It has neurons inside of it. And that makes so much sense because as human beings, we start with the heart. Like the heart beats first. Even before there's a heart, we have cardiac activity. So the heart beats first. And that means the heart builds the brain. Why don't we know this? Why are we telling ourselves that our feelings don't matter when our feelings are literally our second brain or our first brain, to be perfectly honest? And I think it got it right in the first place. There's a difference between emotions in one respect and feelings to me anyway. Feelings seems to be sensory. Like, I think that's plugged in. But emotions are just our like you know, a different type of response to our stimulus that we have going on, our stimuli that we have going on. But the heart is a brain as well. The heart also knows and it thinks and it's intuitive and it can lead you the right way. But we don't allow people, oh my God, like, okay, this is a little bit additional, but it still goes to this question. We don't allow people to follow their heart. And I don't mean in follow your whimsy, but I literally mean follow the calling, right? Like there are people who are called into art spaces. There are people who are called into healing spaces. There are people who are called by numbers, want to garden, want to farm, want to do all these different things. But now we tell people they can't do that because they need to go make money. And so we have so many people living against their calling, living against where their heart really is, to the point where we're one of the sickest countries in this world because we're stuck on this freaking rat race, this hamster wheel. And so we don't allow people to follow their calling, to follow their purpose, to do all this. We got to follow the prophet. And the sad thing about that is that's never enough. It just never is. So, what's the lesson? The lesson here is for us to gather our wands, gather our nine of wands, right? So the nine of wands showed up in the lesson space. And hold on, one more thing that I wanted to talk about. Mm, nah, no, 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 no. I'll leave that be. It'll come back up when I can remember it. But the nine of wands, and again, in this particular deck, these wands, they are sticks. So they have growth on it, which means they have potential, which means they have purpose, which means they can branch out into other things. I don't know if y'all have ever seen this. I saw this recently, and I did a video about it a long time ago. Long, long, long time ago. But there was, in my park, there was a tree that was cut down, and there were several pieces of the log that were left on the ground, right? And I had thought those pieces would decay. But a year later, as I'm walking past those logs, each one, log pieces, each one of the pieces, including the stump, because that was still there, each one of the pieces, including the stump, are growing. They're literally growing another tree. It's like regeneration, right? It's like cutting off the head of Cerberus. They're growing their own tree from a stump, from something I thought was going to be this dead piece of wood eventually, something hollowed out. But because it was left on fertile soil, it was able to take root again and start growing again. Y'all, we're not dead. We're just not. Neither are our dreams, neither are our lives. Okay? And so it says here, what challenges have you overcome? And the words here, this is what we need. This is a lesson. This is what we need to take away from this moment and walk in. Is we need to be, and I hate this word, but I'm going to use it, is resilient, right? That's the first word on here. Resilience, determination, perseverance. Again, don't give up. The other words here, courage, strength. This is what we need in this moment. This is where we go from here, is that we gather up our things. And one of the other things I want you to notice is that this guy is wounded. Okay? He is wounded. He has a band-aid or bandage over his head. He has been through battle. That's where we are right now. We are in battle. But he is like leaning against this thing, this tree, this branch, this wand that is going to grow another whole tree that has the ability to branch into more prosperous and fruitful things. And he is looking, um, like I said, he's looking battle worn, but he is for sure. His footing is still good, right? And so each of those wands are things that he's put into the ground. But at the same time, what I just got to is that um it's almost like he lost those other eight and all he has is this one left. Yes, because those other eight are on a whole different platform, a whole different stand. And so what that means then is this is, oh, okay. This is definitely a collective message. You may have been through losses and we may be losing things right now. And again, we're going to lose a lot still, right? But you have to keep holding on because you have something to plant that will create a new future. And the saying on here is you have been through a lot and come out stronger on the other side. And I truly believe, I believe this with all my heart, to be perfectly honest. If we make it to the other side, we know what the hell we don't want, and we know what we do want. And I believe we're going to build to get it. We just got to get there. We can't give up. We can't lay down. And if we need to lean on something, we need to lean on each other. We have to get connected again. We have to create community. We have to do all these things, right? All right. So, oh, I was feeling a little verklempt. I'm getting a little teary-eyed. So, what we're going to do right now is we're going to go talk to our friend Chat. All right? We're going to talk to Chat, and we are going to find out what Chat got to say. So, let's bring Chat back up, and let's see if Chat can help us out here and take me a little bit further. Does that make sense to y'all? I hope it does. Y'all let me know. Let me know if this made sense. If you feel it, because I feel it. Jesus, I feel it. So like my eyes got tears in them. It's crazy. Because we can save this place, but we got to deal with these shadows we got going on. So hey, it's me again. And if you thought that was a good reading, y'all know we're about to break it down and expand upon it even more with Chat. And wait till you see what other cards jumped out. Baby. Now, we're going to tune into this part 3 of this collective reading of where do we go from here? Once again, if you would like to get your own spirit reset on, drop down into the description, click the link, and go sign up for the free 5-day email challenge or series or what have you, whatever you want to name it, because it's going to deliver to your inbox 5 days in a row with worksheets and journal prompts for you to bring yourself back to you, to remember who it is that you were made to be. Go ahead and start your reset in the description. All right, let's go. Next video.